Hello and welcome to the I Can Do program. I'm Dr. Salinas. We've created this program to help those of you out there who have a disability, injured, or maybe just need a little bit of exercise and help recapturing the quality of life that you once had. We're going to be using the cane as an exercise tool and a martial arts weapon. We're going to change it so that it is no longer seen as a crutch, but an empowering tool to help you have the quality of life you deserve. Welcome to episode 5 of the I Can Do program. In this episode, we're going to focus on defining valued direction. Look forward to giving you a great workout. Let's get started. There are going to be times where we do techniques or stretches that require both our hands to be empty. At those times, what we're going to do is we're going to hook the cane either in our pocket, our belt, or our waistband. And then we're going to go through and do the techniques. Okay? Now the reason why we want to learn how to do this and get comfortable doing this is because I could be getting into my car or carrying something and need my hands free, but if something happens, still be able to quickly access my cane and not run the risk of knocking it down and having to fumble on the ground for it. So when we do these empty-handed techniques, put your cane either in the hook in the pocket or your belt. The first exercise we're going to do today is going to focus on warming up the wrists. Place your hands together, fingers, palms, everything pressing against each other, and then gently just bring it down in front of you until you feel the stretch. Now, I want to note, you don't want to do it like super intense on the stretch. We want to do it gently, gradually, slowly. Now we're going to flip the fingers over and pull up. This changes the angle of the stretch, intensifies it, really starts to warm up the tendons and the ligaments. Breathe slowly. And gently release, relax, shake it out. Prayer and reverse prayer stretches. We're going to now do the single hand cane rotation. Grab your cane in a mid-shaft grip, grab your forearm for support, and all we're going to do is we're going to turn the cane palm up, palm down, palm up, palm down. And we're going to do this for 20 seconds. And then we're going to move back and go a little bit further in the range of motion. Remembering to allow these 3 fingers to start to relax, holding the cane with our ring so that we don't lose control of the cane. And then now we're going to move the hand to the back of the shoulder and go a full range of motion, really making sure to warm our wrists up before doing any major activities with the cane. Now we're going to change hands. Let's go back to the palm. Do not rush this exercise. I'm going to say it again. Do not rush this exercise. You can injure your wrist if you try and push too far, too fast. Now back behind the elbow. Going further in the range of motion. And then back to the shoulder. Now we're going to start warming up our core. We're going to do side bends. So grab your cane at the end, raise it above your head, and now we're going to lean to one side. Try and keep your elbow straight, your hips back straight. Come back up, and let's do the other side. Remember to breathe into the stretch. We're now going to do my favorite warm-up exercise, the twist. We're going to use our hips, move our arms and our shoulders, warming up our back, but to protect our spine, as we twist the hip, the heel comes up off the ground. Alright? The arms and the shoulders are completely relaxed. All the energy is coming from the hips. Alright, this is the twist. Now we're going to move on to the hamstring stretch. All right, we're going to put our feet together. Now I'm obviously turning sideways so you can see me. So you're going to place your cane on the ground in front of you. You're going to place your hands on the crook. You're going to bend forward, keeping your feet and knees together and knees as straight as possible. You're going to rest your forehead on the cane so that you're facing the ground. Now obviously I'm turning towards you so that I can talk to you. We're going to hang out here for a little bit. The idea is we're using the cane to provide support so we don't put pressure on our back. If you're feeling pressure on your back, then always back off the stage. From here we're going to push the cane out. This is a modified version of the downward dog. From this position we're also now stretching the upper back as we're allowing the lower back and the hamstrings to continue their stretch. Now from here we move the hands in, we grab the center of the cane for support, but we're now deepening the stretch. Breathe. Nice, relaxed, slow breaths. And from here, we're now going to let the cane hang. Or if you want, put it on the ground, touch your fingers to the ground. Just hang out. And then to come out of it, we grab our cane again, we bend our knees, put our hands on the crook of the cane, pull it underneath our chest so we can use our arms and our legs to stand ourselves up so that no real pressure is ever put on the small of the back. Hamstring stretch. Moving on to the hip flexor stretch. We're going to turn, line the cane up with our legs, move the inside leg back, heel off the ground, knee bend, rock the hips forward. Focus on breathing nice and slow, nice and relaxed. Up, change hands, change legs. Stepping the inside leg back again. Stretching the hip flexors. Working your balance a little bit. Any thoughts, any feelings that come up for you, hold them lightly for a bit, and then bring your attention back to your breath. Come on up. Hip flexor stretch. At this point, we're going to move down the leg to our calves. We're going to start like the hip flexor stretch. We're going to step back, but instead of the leg staying bent, we're going to straighten the leg and try and put the heel on the ground. Breathe. Now we're going to step up, change hands, change legs. Back, heel on the ground. If you want to make it a little more challenging, maybe work on your balance more, you can bring the cane up. Whatever you're more comfortable with. Then step up. The calf stretch. Moving on to strengthening the body. We're going to start by grabbing the cane at both ends, and you're going to try and pull it apart. Try and lengthen the cane. Try and stretch it out. We're going to hold this, focus on our breaths, and we're going to start thinking about the values, our value direction in life, those thoughts and those beliefs that help give our life meaning and purpose. Bring your attention back to your breath, and now relax, release, shake out the shoulders. At this point, we're going to isolate the shoulders because they're an important part of our body that we use with using the cane. We're going to do shoulder raises. We're going to start with raising the cane in front of us 10 times. You're just going to hold it in mid-shaft grip and bring it up and down 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now to the side. 2, 3, 4. It's almost like you're flying. 5, 6, 7, 8, behind us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Change arms, other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, since it's summertime, you can think of it as you're lobbing a water balloon at somebody. 8, and 10. Now, back to trying to fly. And now behind us. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Shoulder raisers. Since we're going to be working with an Isoband, I want to give you a quick reminder that when it comes time to increase resistance on your Isoband, put a knot in it. And that will help you to control the resistance. The further down you put the knot, the more intense the exercise. So for going forward, for any exercise that you don't feel is enough resistance, move the knot forward. We're now going to move on to the Isoband bench press. We're going to put the Isoband behind us. Hold on to it securely as you thread your cane through it. And then wiggle it up to the back and just start pushing forward. So sort of imagine yourself pushing yourself away from the table. Push. If you want to intensify, you can go faster or slower. The Isoband bench press. To work the inner portion of our chest, we're going to do the Isoband flies. Putting the Isoband behind you, but this time we're going to leave our cane hooked into our belt or our pocket. And we're just going to bring our arms out and then in. Out and then in. Okay? If you want, you can have your arms bent to do this or straight. Either way, it still works the same muscle group. You can go fast or slow. Isoband flies. Now we're going to isolate the biceps, the front of the arms. We're going to step onto our bands, slide the cane through, separate the handles, grab it, and bring it up to the chest. Let's do this 10 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So, Isoband cross. Let's take care of the back of the arm now. We're going to do the Isoband kickback. So we're going to take the band, we're going to step on it under one foot. You're going to kind of have the arm you're going to work shorter than the other side. And you're just going to push it back. The elbow doesn't move, the elbow stays in place, and you push it back. You can do it fast or slow. Now changing arms, you may need to change the side the cane's on. Same thing. Step under it, elbow up, and back. You do want to lean forward while doing this exercise to help you isolate the arm. Isoband kickback. For the balancing exercise we're going to do today, we're going to do the outside crescent kick. Now, I want to warn you, this is a kick that while martial artists do use, for you with the cane, we're not necessarily going to say it has true martial arts self-defense applications. The round kick, the side kick, the back kick, and the front kick, all kicks we've learned in earlier episodes, have self-defense application that while having a cane you can easily do. The reason we're including this kick in the program is because it helps to loosen up the hip joints. Now, this kick, we're going to start it out slow and low. Over time, you can work on building it up. For now, stay where you're at and incrementally improve, okay? We're going to balance on the leg, that's on the lead leg, the leg side next to the cane. And we're just going to circle the leg. you're drawing a circle with the leg. Right now, don't even worry about whether or not your leg is straight or not. Just get that hip moving. Try and raise it higher as you can comfortably while maintaining balance. Okay? In time, it does get higher and higher. All right. Now changing sides. Same thing. Just move the leg, maintain balance, get that hip moving, stretch out the glutes a little bit. And then in time, it comes higher and higher. Now note, the cane may have been moving, but the base of the cane stayed in place. The foot stayed in place. So I was balanced through the entire action. The outside crescent kick. The stance I'm going to show you in this episode is called the rear stance. The rear stance is similar to the back stance, but you'll remember our feet were like this, knee was bent, both knees bent, forming an L. The rear stance, we're going to bring the foot in and balance on the ball of the foot. So all the weight is on this back leg, on the rear leg. The cane is here to help with balance, but we're going to use this to really strengthen our legs. Now we're going to come up and change sides. What we do with one side, we must always do with the other. So, rear stance. Strengthen our legs. So actually, by doing this stance and the back stance, you're going to end up reducing the times and the risks of falling. And stand up. Shake your legs out. The rear stance. The strike that we're going to learn in this episode is called the bayonet strike, or the two-handed poke. You're going to hold it down by the crook, but not on the crook, and about 1.5 to 2 feet up the shaft. For the defensive version, we're going to step the lead leg back as we thrust from our hip. For offensive, we're going to step forward and thrust. Of course, you're always looking at your opponent as you're doing this. Defensive, offensive. Right? Other side, same thing. Defensive, offensive. Okay. Defensive again, offensive again. The bayonet or double-handed poke. We're going to start learning how to use the crook as part of our self-defense techniques. Grab the cane in 2 hands. You're going to swing like you're trying to chop down a tree, and then you're going to imagine you're hooking behind their leg and step back to a back stance as you pull your arms. The idea is you're not trying to muscle it, you're using the weight of stepping back, allowing your weight to pull the leg. So it's hook the leg and pull. You can also move up and hook the torso and pull. This is great for hitting the kidneys, all right, pulling them off balance. And then head. Hit the head, pull. Hit the head, pull. Changing sides, hit the leg, pull, leg, pull, side, pull, side, pull, head, pull, head, and down. Remember, it's all about sinking your weight. I don't care if you weigh 100 pounds or if you weigh 400 pounds. When you sink the weight in, you're going to be able to move the person's leg, move their head. And this is use of the crook. For those of you who've been following along this series from day one, we've covered a lot of material, but now we're going to start putting some of it together. So we're going to put together the two-handed downward block. Remember, keep the hand open, fingers pulled back, and then we're going to add strike angle 1. We're now making so it's more practical. We're bridging the gap. So we block and hit him in the leg. Block, hit him in the leg. Changing hands, same thing. Block, hit him in the leg. Block, hit him in the leg. Block, hit him in the leg. Now, of course, right now we're focusing on the leg, hitting the leg, because we don't want to necessarily run the risk of doing something which may get us into legal trouble for defending ourselves. So block, hit him in the leg. All right? That is a combination of two of the moves that you've learned earlier this season. The combination we're going to learn now combines the knife hand block that we learned earlier this season with the cane punch. All right? So it could be you're just standing there talking with a friend or in a discussion that escalates. You throw a punch, you block it, you hit them in the sternum. All right? So block, punch, block, punch. Draw that circle with the hand, block, and punch. Ultimately, you want to get to the point of being able to do both at the same time. Now, we do it with one hand, we do it with the other. So block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch. Use your hips and your legs to generate power. All right? Especially since the cane itself is going to kind of hinder you from getting any real torque with just the arm. All right? That's the block, cane punch combo. Valued directions are statements about how we want to be and what we want to be doing in our lives. They are the guideposts that help us to determine our behaviors and our actions on an ongoing basis. They're like the compass. You have your four corners of the compass, and the compass is used to help us find our way when we're traveling. Valued directions are like the west on a compass, and your desire is to travel west, and you forever choose to go west, and you just keep on going. Now, goals, well, those are the sights that you see as you're traveling west, the mountains you choose to climb, maybe the amusement park that you choose to visit. But your valued directions are always just west. And so you are forever going to be traveling west. That's valued directions. And in your work that you're doing with this program, you're living by one of, or maybe several of, your valued directions. Maybe the direction that you're going is to be a more involved person in the lives of your loved ones. Maybe it's to be able to have the strength and the stamina to be able to continue enjoying the quality of life that you've had when you were younger. Those are valued directions because you're forever going to be working on those. The goal may be to increase the number of sets, the number of reps, how long or how deep you can hold a stretch for. Those are the goals on your way to achieving your valued directions. Thank you for watching this episode of I Can Do. Have a great day. I Can Do!